Hello viewers, today we are joined by Mr. Sharan Hegde, the founder and CEO of 1% Club in an exclusive conversation. So welcome to NDTV Profit, Sharan.
Thank you so much for having me.
So as you know that markets currently are bleeding, we are going through a bear run and we are also surrounded by a plethora of retail investors who are going through this for the first time. Now they are young investors and they are from a generation who have never seen a market correction that has continued for this long. So what would be your advice to them?
All right. Firstly, I would like to say that we are not yet in a bear run, right? I think we're far from reaching that point. Just to give you some context, in the 80s, the US market went through almost 7 to 8 years of bear run, where the markets didn't really move at all for like almost a decade, right? For us, it's just been a couple of months. So I think, firstly, we need to calm down, right? It's not like the end of the world, like what people are saying. And secondly, you're right. Most of the people in India, or at least on social media, most of them have invested just in the last 1 or 2 years. I personally have been investing for the last 10 years. So when people are saying markets are bleeding, their portfolio is red, but for somebody who has been investing for almost a decade, their portfolios are still green, right? So the moral of the story is if you've been a long-term investor, then this sort of a market correction is not really looking bad on your portfolio. But if you're somebody who's just been investing 1 or 2 years, then yes, you're seeing your portfolio in the red. And this is exactly where investor behavior comes into the picture. Some of the greatest investors in the world said that, investing is much more about your psychology than about the numbers. So at this important juncture, what people do with their money is really, really important because you're not just using logic to make a decision. There's a lot of emotional triggers which is, affecting your decision-making process. And what I personally follow is a proper diversification across asset classes. Although equity is my favorite asset class, almost 50% of my money is in the Indian markets and another 15-20% is in the US market. I'm well diversified across gold, crypto, real estate, bonds, private investments. So I have a portfolio which is well diversified. So even if half of my portfolio is not doing that well this year, I know that my other asset classes are really performing well. So only when you have that diversified approach, you have that peace of mind. But if you are sort of somebody who is after that quick money-making strategy where you're like, okay, I saw that the Indian market is performing well, so I'll put all my money in the Indian markets, then you might be in trouble right now.
Now, coming on to something more specific, 1% Club. You recently received a SEBI registration as well, and that was a big day for you.
Yeah.
So now this happened during a time when the regulator was curbing a lot of illicit advice that is, circulating on social media handles.
Right.
So how do you feel that your operations have changed in tune with such, curbs or such an environment after getting the registration?
I would say the license was just a matter of formality. We've not really changed anything at all from day one. For us, getting the license was more from a business objective that until that point of time, we were not able to really give financial advice on a one-on-one consultation basis, which is what people really want. There's only so much of education that you can do on social media. But when it comes to implementing the strategies, that's where people go wrong. Like we're talking about the current market situation. A lot of people had invested in the market over the last 6 months, 12 months. But right now, when the market is not doing well, people really need that hand-holding support, which they don't have access to. Like when you fall sick, you can go to a doctor at a hospital. But when you don't know what's happening with your portfolio, who do you go to? You're nobody, right? So we sort of wanted to build a company which sort of creates financial doctors for the country. So that is why we took the license so that we can provide that kind of a service. But nothing has really changed in the way we operate our business or the way we communicate to our audience. It was just a matter of formality, and SEBI was kind enough to give it to us. They trust in what we are doing, and I think the numbers are speaking for itself. We already are managing more than 750 crores of assets under advisory. Almost 600 HNIs, are a part of our clientele, and we are getting more demand than what we can handle. So very, very grateful that God has been kind to us, and also the regulators have been kind to us.
You talked about providing some sort of a financial help to the people of India. Now, see, Indian population that is investing needs some sort of handholding and guidance, that's true. But at the same time, when they look for it over the internet, they do not find a lot of really formalized and, right channels to get this information from. So how would you suggest them to, kind of identify that these channels are wrong and these channels are correct? What kind of due diligence they can do on their own part?
I think there is no right or wrong answer over here, because there are a lot of unregistered investment experts who are doing a good job as well. And at the same time, there are a lot of registered investment experts who are doing a very bad job, right? So there is no right or wrong answer that, okay, if this person has a SEBI license, you need to listen to them. Or if this person doesn't have a SEBI license, you should not listen to them. So I think it's more about you understanding how important it is for you and finding a person who is actively going to manage your money for you rather than just listening to them on social media.
But are there any markers here that an investor can look into that, okay, this person is giving me genuine advice?
Again, see, the initial thought would be looking at their qualification, how many gray hairs are there on their head, right? But all of this, I think, is just a facade. I think at the end of the day, you have to take a leap of faith. It's more like having that mutual trust and respect with that person. It's sort of like getting into a relationship, right? You don't know whether the person that you're in a relationship can be a potential spouse one day. You have absolutely no idea. No matter what you evaluate about them from the outside, their job, their work experience, you're never going to be absolutely damn sure whether this person is right for you. Similarly, with a financial planner, only until unless you actually dive into it, work with them for a period of 1 year, do you actually know whether they're the right person for you. Because the job of a financial planner is less about managing the money and more about managing your emotions. So it is sort of like a relationship if you think about it.
So you were talking about 1% club also just now, and you were saying that God has been kind. So what are your, sort of 2 to 3 year expansion plans? What are you thinking? What are your strategies?
Sure. So we started off as a financial education platform about 3 years back, and currently we have almost 80,000 members who are paying members in the 1% club, and almost 500,000 people who have attended any one of our master classes. The second strategy, the second phase of our company was to get into financial services, where we didn't just want to educate people, but we actually wanted to give advice, where we actually want to walk the talk, right? Don't just say it, do it for me. That's what the customers ask for. And that's what we're currently doing. Today, we have a wealth management team of almost 50 people, and we are constantly like hiring 5 people, 10 people every month because the demand is so much. But we realize that to really, really create a large scale impact, we really need to get into the fintech space. So we will be launching our fintech products very, very soon. We will be launching our own investment products, fixed deposits, mutual fund baskets, stock recommendations, credit cards, insurance advisory. So we'll be getting into all of this. So the goal is that in the next 10 years, we become the largest fintech company in India. Today, obviously, we're a very far place away from that. But the way that the team is operating and the kind of opportunities and unfair advantages that 1% Club has because of our social media distribution and the trust that we have in the market, I think we have an unfair advantage and we'll be one of the biggest fintech companies in India.
Coming on to another topic that you have very openly spoken about several times, AI and automation. So to what extent 1% Club is using AI in its function?
Use AI almost on a daily basis, and we began by using AI on content creation, and I think that the whole world has already seen it. What AI can do in the world of content creation. Some of my videos are not even there. It's like an AI model, right? But beyond that, now we are exploring AI in financial planning as well. We are looking at how we can improve the sales team processes with AI, how we can do better research with AI. So it's a lot of applications, and I think now AI agents are also coming. So the work of entire human beings now can be replaced by AI, right? So I'm not even kidding, right? The only thing that I feel that AI cannot replace is the human element of actually talking to somebody when it comes to money management, right? But and maybe also the sales team, because you always need someone to talk to, someone to convince them to pay you something. But beyond that, and even the tech team, right? Like a lot of our code is now written by AI. What we've been able to build in our app would have actually taken us a year, but our team was able to do it in 6 months with half the team size, just because of AI. So I think with the more and more advancements coming in, our team size will remain the same, but the work that we will do will become more and more with that same team size. So it's both exciting and dangerous at the same time.
So currently, we know that you have been investing for the last 10 years and you've been teaching financial discipline, financial advice, and a lot of things to your audience for a very long time. So how do you see that the picture of investor education in India has changed, and how is it slated to change in the coming years?
I think it's just a factor of where people are consuming their information from. It won't really change that much in the coming years. What we saw during COVID was the migration of people consuming their information from newspapers and TV to social media, right? So unless there is a new media platform which comes and teaches people about investing, I don't think there will be any big change going forward. I think it'll remain pretty much the same. I think YouTube and Instagram will keep growing as platform for learning about investing and finance, because people still like to consume things very quickly instead of reading a book.
And then the final question of all, being at 1% club, doing something which is not heard of every day, from starting investor education, teaching people, to starting a platform which is going to venture into financial products also.
Correct.
So how is a normal ordinary day spent by you in your company?
Yeah, I mean, I think all put together, I run like 4 businesses, right? Or I look at content creation as a media business. And then 1% Club is an education company. And then we have financial services, which is a SEBI registered company. And then we have financial products, which is becoming out very soon. But the mission is the same for everything, which is educating people as to where to put their hard earned money. So, although it seems like it's a lot of things, but the mission and the vision is the same. So it doesn't really feel like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. It's mostly about having a crystal clear clarity on where you want to go, finding the right kind of people who believe in that mission, and constantly working with the team at getting better at what we are doing. We don't like to be like, okay, I'll be the best at what we do. We are like, how can we be better than what we did last year? Right? So it's always constantly pushing the boundaries.
Thank you so much for speaking to us and giving us your
Thank you so much.